Oh, I would love to meet with President Kagame. It's been, I am actually, as I've studied and as I've become more intimate with the country, it just surprises me. It mind blows me how that war may have been 25 years ago. And here's the crazy part. The war may have been 25 years. It's still recent. And so what he has done and these collective efforts with, like I said, other fine leaders, it's impressive. But to answer your question again, you have no idea. I would love to meet him, President Kagame, you said? Oh, I would definitely share with him, tell him about, I'd like to sit down with him and go over intimately our business model and what we can and how we can collaborate to take things to a whole new dimension. Well, my name is Sonia Zuniga, and it's so good to be back here again. I am a Texan. I am from the U.S. I am from a very small town called Del Rio, Texas, which is just a few miles away from the Mexican border, known as Ciudad Acuña, Coahuila, Mexico. And very briefly, I was, the way I can say it is, I was born into a family of rich education. In fact, our community, Del Rio, is known for being so small. It's really developed. It's known for its fierce education. And like I shared, I just kind of grew up a little bit. I was born a little bit different. I had a love for business. I'll share a little bit more about my my business career, my educational background. I have an MBA, and as I say, I consider myself an entrepreneur. Right after I obtained my bachelor's, I obtained my bachelor's from a university called the University of the Incarnate Word in San Antonio, Texas. And shortly after that, I took on an assignment in Washington, D.C.'s the Department of Commerce Office of Countervailing Investigations. And that's where I was. This was way back in 1996. Yeah. That's where I was open to a bigger network. It was the first time I had really been outside of Texas without my family, on my own, just being exposed to people. And it's where I met my business partner, which is kind of crazy. Wow, so thank you for noticing that logo. We have received so much attention. Anyway, just a quick shout out and to Alpha Group Marketing from Texas and from Peru. They are responsible for designing that logo. It's just what we call it in business. It's a brand that we feel would be good for our cause and our purpose. Yes. The people that were there greeting me, part of a team who's excited about some unity, the unity we're trying to create in our efforts to bolster awareness and for our cause, which is Tours for a Cause for sustainability of both sustainability, economic and social sustainability.
Yes. Sonia, what is important here?
Well, so I'll share a little more about why, I think I heard you say, what is important and why am I back here in Rwanda? Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go back to why I'm back here in Rwanda and share a little bit about my first time in Rwanda to help you understand why I'm back here. Okay, is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So as I said, I am a businesswoman. In my journey a few years ago, I had a cousin who was a diplomat here in Rwanda. And she invited me, and it was a time during my entrepreneurial journey where I really needed to take a break and decompress. Yeah. And so ultimately, I talked to my business partner. I said, you know what, let's go. I was supposed to just relax, and I was ready. But I don't think that's what the Lord wanted for me. So I'll share a little more. What happened When I came here, my eyes were open to something I didn't even imagine. And really, in short, how beautiful this country was. I was aware of the war. I was surprised at how clean and secure, how much it has been developed. And immediately, I started interacting with the artisans, going into the villages. I started taking tours. And when I was in Akagera, my business partner was asleep. I was outside drawing a business model to see, I just knew there were some possibilities to create something worthwhile. And I remember picking up a phone call. It was at Akagera. That's where a vision came to me, and I made a phone call to a Dr. Analisa Mendiola. And I just said, what I'm seeing here is great. It's big, big, big. I love it. So I think it's a little more important to understand what exactly happened when I came here. But to answer those questions, collaboration, the people that we will collaborate with and that we have collaborated with is from the national level all the way to the local levels, from the villages and even in the urban areas. That's here in Rwanda. But in the first world countries, we're looking to collaborate with all sectors. We're looking from the private sector, the public sector, the education, the churches, because in order to promote the awareness that we're seeking, we need unity. Well, we chose the hospitality and the tourist industry. When we were here, and we immediately got started when we returned back to the United States from that first trip, we immediately started doing a 15-month feasibility about what we were seeing in the possibilities, just our strengths, our experiences, etc. And in the 15-month feasibility, we studied a group of women in one of the poorest sectors in Musanze district called the Muko sector. In addition to that, we studied many organizations with profound missions to help Rwanda overcome the challenges, the painstaking challenges that it has. We studied, we became very impressed with President Kagame and President Clinton's collaboration and what gave birth to the AGOA Act, the African Growth of Opportunities Act. And so in this 15-month feasibility, we used what was called the Heckscher-Ohlin theory. It's an old international economic theory that's very simple, and it simply states that when one country's scarcity is another country's abundance, and where the two people can collaborate and there's economic gain on both sides, that's optimal globalization. And it was simple for us. Over here we had rich agricultural terrain, rich climate, agriculture, and over in the U.S., rich education, resources, technology. And so we felt that's how we got started. In our experiences collectively, from a national level, and even working with these fine ladies in the Muko sector, it's overwhelming to see the scope of leadership, knowing the history of this country. And so I personally feel it from my experiences in first world countries, that it takes leadership to a whole different level. It's very apparent that there is so much synergy amongst the different groups, as well as a lot of outside the box thinking to help overcome. And that's why we were to help overcome what the country has been through. And so we, particularly when we were studying these 1,500 women and how, I believe it was USAID, it was a $1.8 million project to help them overcome adversity. We identified the 5 leaders of those 1,500 women. And we just felt, wow, if they could overcome what they went there, they could take on other first world leadership, business strategies, et cetera, to take what they've learned to another level as well. Oh, I would love to meet with President Kagame. I am actually, as I've studied and as I've become more intimate with the country, it just surprises me. It mind blows me how that war may have been 25 years ago. And here's the crazy part. The war may have been 25 years. It's still recent. And so what he has done and these collective efforts with, like I said, other fine leaders, it's impressive. And as long as we can just sit here and say, there's three things that I feel are so important. Is first and foremost is the unity and the willingness to say there is always better than better and say synergy. Many people have asked me, are you a missionary? Are you this? Are you trying to build a church? We are looking at a big picture. We love what missionaries do. We love what the government is doing right now for Rwanda. We love what the local leaders are doing for Rwanda. What we're saying here is, why don't we add additional value? Because where there is an issue right now is there are stigmas, there are misperceptions. We need awareness, and the design of the model that we created, which is known as the dollar sign model, which we'll get into that at another time, but that model that it takes into consideration the strengths, the weaknesses, and the extreme importance of having awareness. Because we can do all the training, we can do all the training, create all the jobs, but if we don't have the awareness and the right picture that this country is not in a war zone, it's not dangerous, then it'll just be a Band-Aid, and it won't be a sustainable solution. But to answer your question again, you have no idea. I would love to meet him, President Kagame, you said? Oh, I would definitely share with him, tell him about, I'd like to sit down with him and go over intimately our business model and what we can and how we can collaborate to take things to a whole new dimension. Yeah. It's time to break that and use all the strengths of everybody. Just for example, we all know that the gorillas are the number one source of revenue here. Yeah. And since our model is all about sustainability, we take into consideration the conservation for the best primates ever. And so now that Ellen DeGeneres here we all need to come together. How can we take this country and let everybody see the hidden gems and understand why they say God roams the world but comes to rest in Rwanda? It's 3 words.
Yes.
A piece of Rwanda. Well, we're going to continue on what we've been doing for the past few years, and now where we're at, we have some groups in the United States who have now been encouraged to come and visit, and we are also being given feedback. So as I said, our job is to network amongst all sectors in the first world countries. And so through these groups, we also, through that feedback, is how we work with our teams here in East Africa too. How do we receive each other? How do we create that magic so that we know we are here? We are traveling for a cause, so that these tours remain here, that it is here to build the community. It is here to build the kingdom. So it is here to provide jobs, and so that they are not just dominated by first world countries. We need to keep those localized, and that's why we take good pride in saying these tours are for a cause, for social and economic sustainability. A piece of Rwanda. A piece of Rwanda, I'll tell you what that is, okay? It is just what it says, peace. But our job with a piece of Rwanda is to help promote the awareness and let every single first world country who has a different picture of Rwanda, let them see truly a piece of Rwanda. Thank you so much for watching Murakoze Chane. Spread the word, spread the wealth. We are together.